Good evening, Tallahassee. It is Monday, September 8th and 9th. Forgive me, it is Monday. And welcome to tonight's version of For FSU Weather. I'm student meteorologist Daphne Gurishkin.
And I'm student meteorologist Tyler Rounder. It's Monday here. We're getting over the weekend. You're still on the weekend, apparently.
Still, I think so. My head is still on the weekend.
That's okay, then.
You know, we're starting the week off with some weather to talk about.
That's right. Not so much close to home. That's the good news. But out in the tropics, starting to heat up.
Yeah, perhaps our 8th named storm here. It's Umberto. Still in the Atlantic, forecasted by the National Hurricane Center to develop into a hurricane Category 1 storm by perhaps tomorrow.
Yeah, and that's crucial because September 10th, kind of meteorologists and climatologists throw out as the peak of the hurricane season. And if this forms as a hurricane tomorrow, that's going to be pretty critical because we haven't seen a hurricane yet this season, which is rather unusual.
Yeah, so just when you think it's over, you got to keep your feet up.
That's right. Still got plenty of time to watch this. And in fact, if we don't see a hurricane tomorrow, if this doesn't become a hurricane tomorrow, if this doesn't become a hurricane by Wednesday morning, this will be the latest ever since the satellite era began that we haven't seen a hurricane. So definitely some history making with Umberto going on right now.
Record making too, and the potential here. So as for now, not forecasted to really affect land except the Cape Verde Islands. There is a tropical storm warning for you. So just besides that.
Looking good, but let's go ahead and see what it looks like around the nation. A little overview with Braden.
Thank you, Tyler. We'll go into your weather headlines real quick. Again, like they were saying, Tropical Storm Umberto forms in the eastern Atlantic. And may it be our first hurricane. If not by Wednesday morning, it will be the latest hurricane to form in the satellite era. More sunshine for the week here in Tallahassee. It's going to be looking good, but a chance of rain will come for that game day weekend, Florida State versus Nevada at 3 o'clock tomorrow. Sorry, we're having a little issue with our clicker. There we go. Let's go into your local radar. Not showing much. It was a pretty nice day. Not much in the way of precipitation, and that's going to last through the rest of the week, so it is looking pretty good. Current temperature sitting in the high 80s, 89 Tallahassee, 86 Monticello, upper 70s in Bainbridge, only 79. For tonight, 72 degrees, partly cloudy skies, less than a 20% chance of rain. We'll get into your 7-day on your first local, but first, Daphne, Tyler, talking about some space weather.
That's right.
Yeah, space weather is the hot topic right now, and if you haven't already heard, Saturn and Venus, you can look at outside your window and see them tonight.
Yeah, that beautiful crescent moon is there too, and kind of in between we have Saturn, Venus, and the moon, and that's going to be peaking at what time, Daphne?
7:49 is the best time to see it, and now the best place to see it perhaps would be somewhere where there's not as much light, and that would probably be the best.
Yeah, an open field.
Open field,
like away from the city lights. That would be certainly best. You know, similar to like a meteor shower. You go away from the city to see that and just observe the sky. Hopefully not too many clouds out there tonight.
I hope not. You know, when I'm in South Florida, I usually love going on the sand and watching it from there, but us Tallahassee folks, we don't have that option.
Unless you can race down to the beach in a couple of hours.
But we're going to take it off to Jason right now for some more local weather.
Hey, thanks, Daphne. And looking at the numbers, though, today, we did look more or less fall beginning to make its presence around Tallahassee. High for today was 91 degrees. Look at this, so 69 degrees of an average, right around there with respect to fall. So we did see some cooler and drier conditions, though, into this weekend. And in later parts of the week, we'll see this once again. Now, current conditions, though, clouds did begin to build throughout the day. We started a nice sunshine this morning. However, mostly cloudy, though, as of currently 6 o'clock in Tallahassee, 89 degrees. Dew point around 67, so slightly moist going into the lower levels. Current temperatures, though, looking pretty uniform around the Big Bend region. 89 degrees in Tallahassee. A little hot spot, though, out in Valdosta with 93 degrees. And a little cooler spot, of course, in Bainbridge with 79 degrees. So a little fluctuation here and there, but overall, relatively into the mid-80s for the Big Bend region. Now, dew points-wise, looking pretty uniform, too, into the mid-70s, so a little moist down into the lower levels. And the currents really showing, though, a kind of nice day overall. Humidity's not too much of a bear, so sweat won't be pouring off of you. Current winds, though, now beginning to come a little more southerly. We've seen these easterly winds the past couple days. Tallahassee coming out of south-southeast at 5 miles an hour. 5 miles an hour from mostly around. But you see these winds now beginning to turn a little south. So in the next few days, we'll expect some more moisture to begin to come present around the Tallahassee region. And radar really showing that a couple pop-up showers just to the north of us. Of course, a nice shower raining through the southwest of Mariana. A few showers begin to pop up just to the north of Tallahassee. Even to Bainbridge saw a shower earlier. We're seeing this kind of trend of a sea breeze beginning to come from the east towards the west of Tallahassee, and maybe around 5 or 6 o'clock we could expect a shower or two. So certainly not ruling out a shower this evening. We have just under 20% of a shower, but don't rule that out as a factor though tonight. Now, the futurecast is showing this high pressure system dominating over into the Carolinas. Plenty of sunshine throughout the weekend. As we go into the later parts of the week though, we'll see some more cloud development and more moisture into our area of Tallahassee. In the southern, we're going to have this cold front come on down, but eventually it's going to turn stationary along our borders, and hence there's going to be some more frontal boundary convergence. Will give us some more chances of showers into later parts of the week. Now, more Wednesday into Thursday, they're expecting some better chances of showers, of course, for our region area. But overall, next few days, though, looking quite nice for the most part. Tonight's forecast, 72 degrees, partly cloudy, just under 20% chance of rain. Could be hitting a shower or two, so you do want to bring down an umbrella if you're going out tonight. And into tomorrow, really right around the same pattern for fall, 92 degrees, mostly sunny, a slight breeze, and of course it's going to be warm out there. So of course dress appropriately. Now next 7 days, not really seeing much action until Friday into Saturday when we see that stationary front begins to make play into the region and give us some better chances of shower. Now Jack's going to go ahead and brighten ourselves out to the southeast and see what's happening. What's happening, Jack?
Yeah, Jason, you're talking about those warm conditions in Tallahassee. Check it out all across the board. It's sitting at 93 degrees in Montgomery, 90 degrees in Tupelo, 90 degrees in New Orleans. We have this high pressure digging into us, which is bringing us a lot of that warm conditions. And if you check out all these weather, we mainly just have partly cloudy skies and mainly sunny skies in Florida. So we aren't seeing a lot of weather makers in the area, and that's kicking up our heat indexes. It's feeling very hot all across the region. 100 degrees it feels like in Montgomery, 90 degrees in Atlanta, and 93 degrees in Tallahassee. That's an addition with the dew points. You get a lot of moisture and a lot of heat in the area. That's when you start feeling very sticky, muggy, and just not very nice outside. Current satellite and radar, not a lot of storms popping up. We had a heavier storm pushing its way through Bainbridge earlier today, but it has since died down. We have some few pop-up showers as we may work our way towards northern Florida and northern Georgia. Now, current radar, as we zoom in towards the Big Bend area, you see that little bit of a storm pushing us through Bainbridge, but slowly dying off, and as it makes its way down to the south, Panama City could get a hit of that storm. Water vapor is showing why we aren't seeing a lot of rain, as we've been seeing for most of the summer. We have a dig into the dry air, so we're staying relatively dry all across the region, indicative of these dark colors across the board. Some pop-up showers with these green, but mainly for most of the southeast, we're staying very dry and muggy. Beach forecast, and once you get out there, great day to get out there. Southwest winds, 6 knots on Tuesday. Surf kicking up to 1 to 2 feet. That UV index is staying very high at 9, so make sure you apply that sunscreen if you do go out. Tonight's forecast, low conditions, 69 degrees in Montgomery, 70 degrees in Atlanta, 70 degrees for us back here in Tallahassee, 74 degrees in Orlando. So we're getting some milder conditions as we make our way into tonight. We've been seeing warmer conditions, but we're starting to drop off and starting to feel like that fall conditions coming in. Tomorrow's forecast, though, warm conditions all across the region as that high pressure continues to build up. 93 degrees in Montgomery, 88 degrees in Atlanta, 93 degrees in Tallahassee. Now, we'll start seeing some rain chances start coming into the southeast region once that stationary front starts sagging down into our area, but we're going to have some of our local weather meteorologists get into that. So we'll have that go to them, but we're going to send it back to the desk with Braden and Tawana as they give us a weather history lesson for today.
Thank you, Jack.
Yes, thank you. And in this day in weather history, we're going to bring you all the way back to 1921 when a dying tropical depression dropped 38.2 inches of rain in the small town of Thrall, Texas.
That's a tremendous amount of rain, almost terrifying even. It killed 224 people.
Wow.
That's just crazy. And 36.4 inches fell in about 18 hours. So no wonder there was flooding.
Absolutely. A lot of flooding, a lot of rain. That's unfathomable amount of rains. But we'll jump ahead to 1971, where Hurricane Ginger formed, lasted 27 days, lasted through October 5th after forming in early September. It is the longest lifespan of an Atlantic hurricane.
And we haven't even gotten a hurricane yet this year. That's just absolutely amazing. But we're going to send out to Tyler, who's going to give us a view of what's happening around the nation.
All right, thanks guys. And as we take a look at what's going on around the nation, you can see the bullseye of heat really obvious here in the middle part of the country. 92 in San Antonio, 95 in Kansas City, Chicago. You're well into the 90s today. A little bit cooler in the Northeast and portions of the Intermountain West. And they certainly could use the rain out there in the west because it's so dry, and there's many wildfires as well. They're getting a little bit of moisture though, or quite a bit actually, here in the southwest. Some monsoonal moisture is coming up. Meanwhile, across the eastern part of the country, well, most of us are quiet except for up toward the Midwest. And you can see that here on the satellite picture, everything going up and around a ridge of high pressure, and in between, the nation's midsection is very warm. Around the upper Midwest, the UP and Michigan, lots of rain, showery activity today, some thunderstorms as well. The Northeast, along the coastline, the I-95 corridor, very quiet, nothing going on. A couple showers sneaking into the region. Erie, Pennsylvania, up toward Buffalo as well. You're seeing some of the rain too. And in the Southeast, here at home, we could have used the rain from some of that heat that we saw today, but certainly some extra clouds than we saw over the weekend. Most of the showers are staying just to our north. In portions of Texas, we're seeing plenty of moisture here. Pretty wet from the Texas Hill Country all the way down south into Brownsville as well. I mentioned all that monsoonal moisture in the southwest. It's really plentiful here. Phoenix area, Mesa, up toward the Santan Valley. You're getting some flooding reports. Not a nice situation along Highway 60 today. Officials urge folks there to stay off the roads. And the Northwest, quiet. Further south into Northern California, though, we have those wildfires, so definitely not a good situation near the San Francisco Bay Area and just off to the northeast as well. For tonight, we're going to see temperatures, well, not very cool in Phoenix despite all the rain. 80 degrees there, 57 in San Francisco, 58 in Salt Lake City. But you can see the summer weather hangs on tight across the Central Plains and the East. And that's not going to be any different as we go into the day on Tuesday. Upper 90s in Dallas, Memphis, 94 in Kansas City. You have to go to the Intermountain West to see some of that relief, but it is a little bit rain-cooled across that part of the country. So that's what's going on around the nation. Now let's bring it back home with Pete.
Okay, thank you very much, Tyler. I'll bring you through this graphic. What you see here is a temperature map over the temperature in Tallahassee over the last 24 hours. You can see from 4 a.m. to 7 a.m., well, that's our cold period. No sun, no heat. And then we warm right up. As we go up this peak, yeah, there's our high, 90, 91, starting to feel a little like summer. We haven't shook that summer heat yet. That's around our region. You felt it if you were out on campus today. High of 92 officially at the airport, a little above our average of 90. And our low, check that out. We actually dipped into the upper 60s. Right about average. We are about 70 degrees for this. But as the months and weeks go ahead, we're going to see those cold blasts begin to affect our region. And I know for me, I'm definitely looking forward to that. 88 this hour under mostly cloudy skies. Dew point sits at 69 degrees, and the humidity is at 54% with a light south breeze. All across the region, you do see these oranges and reds. 88 again in Tallahassee, 87 Monticello, Thomasville shares our 88. So generally speaking, upper 80s across the region. Unless you got a little bit of rain. You see that 79 at Bainbridge? A little rain cooled there as they had a passing shower from the northeast. Dew points remain fairly high across the region. You do see 60s begin to creep into this map, but generally speaking, when you see dew point temperatures in the upper 60s to near 70, the air remains moist and it begins to feel very sticky out there, as a dew point is a measure of the moisture content in the atmosphere. And you factor that in with the heat index, 93 is actually what it feels like. So it is above the actual temperature as measured by a thermometer. 84, a little cooler out there in Bainbridge, Georgia, again, due to the rainfall. Put that radar into motion, you see that rain shower that moved through that county off from east to west. Nothing in the way for us as you see Tallahassee, Leon County, Wakulla County, looking at Monroe Street, Thomasville Road. You are all clear this evening, at least for now, for any chances of rain. Take a look at that water vapor loop. Shows a lot of dry air in these dark colors that has just sunk southward across the Panhandle region and in the spine of Florida. not this tropical moisture that's being confined well to the south. That's going to remain out of our area, thankfully, for the rest of the region. You see high pressure dominating our weather. It's going to sink southward as the next approaching cold front is going to move south and then turn stationary right above our area. May increase our rain showers into the future, but we're looking towards Friday for that to bump up our rain chances. So until then, looks like mostly sunny skies, temperatures near 90, and those rain chances way down, 10 to 20%. Overnight tonight, 72 degrees, partly cloudy with that chance of showers. We'll put it at a less than 20%. East wind should die down after sunset. Moving into tomorrow's forecast, 92 with mostly sunny day. So if you do get a chance to go out there, perhaps land is green, go ahead and enjoy it. A little on the warm side, but it's going to be a nice day. And is your 7-day forecast. You spread it out for the week. 90s remain in control until about Saturday. Then you see 89 degrees, dropping back to 86 as rain chances increase. Well, rain is actually very good for something that's going on into the western region with the Pacific Rim fire. And our desk, Tawana and Braden, will tell you all about it.
Yes, thank you, Pete. And the Pacific Rim fire out by Yosemite is 80% contained, but did continue to grow over the weekend. So even though it is contained, it started to grow in size. It got larger over the weekend.
That is just crazy. It's the third largest fire to ever occur in California. And so far, to fight it, it's cost $96.2 million.
Definitely a lot of money for a fire. It erupted on August 17th. So far, it's destroyed 11 homes and 97 other buildings. So a really destructive fire. So far, 394 square miles of land has been burned.
And 4,300 firefighters are currently fighting it. So that's a lot of manpower for this one fire.
Absolutely. And we're not getting much rain this week, but of course we're getting more rain than they are out there. A lot of dry air out there, a lot of dry air here too. However, let's check out what's going on around the rest of the state with Jason.
Hey, thanks, guys. Not too much going on. You mentioned that dry air certainly helped to inhibit those storms, and which also would help inhibit those fires y'all were talking about. So make sure don't light up any matches anywhere where you don't put it out properly with water, of course. Now, current conditions, though, around the Florida looking pretty much normal, and for the fall-like season, sitting around mid-80s for most. Tallahassee sitting at 88, all the way down to Miami at 84 degrees. There's some cloud cover down there now. Florida certainly, South Florida at least, is certainly seeing some of those showers. The reason why that we have these upper level, and again, now these are indicated at the upper level. So we have a lot of dry air from that high pressure beginning to move down and really help to clear out most of Florida's showers. However, though, we do have winds that are beginning to turn into the coast, which helps bring that moisture back into the region, especially for South Florida. Strong winds, 10-mile-an-hour winds coming onshore, same with West Palm Beach. This will certainly help to factor in some chances of showers, especially at the peak of day of heating, which is around 5 o'clock. And we do see all these showers begin to make its way onshore to Florida, especially parts of South Florida. Miami's starting to see a shower too, and even to Fort Myers saw some strong showers just off coast. A severe thunderstorm about 30 minutes ago. So certainly we have some convection going on with respect to South Florida. Now, the dry air, those certainly help to inhibit showers, especially for central and northern Florida, where showers do remain offshore. So we expect that this to be a general trend into the next few days at least. Now, Futurecast is agreeing with me in the perspective of most showers remaining well to the south, and of course to the north, when we see the showers begin to make its way on the region throughout the week, more or less Friday and Saturdays when we see a good chance of rain begin to come back into Tallahassee. Now, going to beach forecast tomorrow, beach is looking quite nice. Winds out of the southwest at 6 knots, surf at 1-2 feet, and water's looking a little chilly, 65 degrees Fahrenheit. UV, of course, put the sun screen on. You always need to, especially a lot of sunshine. You don't want to get burnt. Now, on the water, if you're heading out to the boat, easterly winds 5 to 10 knots. Waves 1 to 2 feet, so smooth waters to a light shop throughout the day. Overall, nice boating day. I do encourage you to go on out if you do have some plans for it. Now, tonight's forecast, though, looking pretty uniform once again around most of Florida. High 70s sitting down into South Florida, 77 for Miami, and low 70s, even to 60s for upper Florida. 70 degrees in Tallahassee, look at this cool spot, 68 degrees into Jacksonville. Now, warming up once again, though, into tomorrow's forecast. Some good chances of showers, I would say, for most of South Florida. Again, look at 89 degrees expected to shower to into South Florida. And really into central and northern Florida, once again, we're seeing a lot of sunshine and into the lower 90s, 93 degrees for Tallahassee. Same thing for Tampa, 93 degrees. However, that cloud cover will begin to become more present throughout the week, and even some chances of showers. We expect them to begin to bump up, I would say, around Wednesday, and there on then we expect some chances of showers to come back into the region for central and parts of northern Florida. However, though, we're going to go ahead and wrap it around into the tropics and take a look at Tropical Storm Humberto. Raquel, tell us more.
Thank you, Jason. Well, we finally have another tropical storm on our hands. It's out in the Atlantic Ocean right now, right by Africa. So we can take our name. It's Tropical Storm Humberto. And you might wonder, where do we get these names from? Well, the National Hurricane Center actually goes with the World Meteorological Organization, and they determine the names by the area. So in our area in the Atlantic Ocean, there tends to be a lot of French, Hispanic, and English names. So that's why we have Humberto on our hands. But before we get there, we're going to take a little look to our Gulf of Mexico right now. We do have a slight disturbance on our hands. The National Hurricane Center hasn't forecasted any development with this, but we're still going to keep our eye on this organization of storms. So here are the remnants of Gabrielle. There's a 20% chance that it might develop into something in the next 48 hours. But unfortunately, I think this might be a bust. There might not be too much development for this to really turn back into a tropical storm at the moment. But for the most part, it's going to be moving northward, and the development is going to die off as we head into this week. So now we do have Tropical Storm Humberto in our hands, and it's going to be moving upward as well. And you might wonder, why isn't it coming our way? Well, it's a high pressure system that's kind of be just gearing its way towards us, or away from us. So really, the only person, or the only islands that are going to be seeing this kind of warning, or any kind of warning for that matter, is the Cape Verde Islands, which is right over here by my hand. So right now, it's actually forecasted to become a hurricane by tomorrow. As of right now as well, it's 4,125 miles east of Tallahassee. It's currently traveling at 30 knots per hour, or what's that, 11 miles per hour, and the gusts are at 50 miles per hour. So with that being said, the reason why it's going to be moving upward is because of this, our hurricane climatology. Usually during this time of year, hurricanes just tend to gear either northward or towards us. So for this case of the Tropical Storm Humberto, it will be moving northward. The question is, will it be the first hurricane of our season, or will it be the only hurricane of our season? It might be so. This hasn't happened since satellite and radars have been first used for meteorological purposes. So it has actually a very good chance to become a hurricane with all this warm sea temperatures just fueling it in for us. So now we're going to give you today's almanac. Just to wrap things up, high 91, low 69, and we're going to head it back to the desk.
Hey, thank you very much, Raquel. We see that in the tropics, things have heated up as far as formation, but we're still waiting for that first hurricane of 2013.
Yes, there's a record for the latest a hurricane has ever formed, and that's September 11th, set back in 2002, and Hurricane Gustav was that tropical cyclone that formed so late.
I remember watching that. It actually skirted the northeast coast, coming near Cape Hatteras, before it actually intensified, moving up to the northeast as it brushed New England and later made landfall in Newfoundland.
Yes, so until then, we have about 3 more days. Thursday will be the record day for Humberto if Humberto decides to stay as a tropical storm for a few more days, but it looks likely that it might strengthen. So do you think we might break the record?
I don't know. I mean, it's so far east, and it has so much variability in its track. We're just going to have to wait and see on that one.
Yes, definitely. But also, what else seems to be the main story in the tropics besides Humberto?
Well, what I've seen over the past 3-4 weeks is that Saharan dust layer has really put a damper on a lot of development that we've seen over the main development region, from the Atlantic wave train that we're so used to seeing. Just hasn't warmed up yet this year.
Definitely. Now with Humberto, if it does impact that dry air, then likely we will see this record broken. But it doesn't seem that way. I'm pretty sure we're going to have our record stay intact for a few more years.
That's a good possibility. All right. Well, for right now, let's send it back to the wall as we take a look at some more info.
Thank you, Alex and Pete. And we know that all eyes will be on Humberto for the next couple of days, keeping a close eye on him. Now, as for Tallahassee, we reached a high of 91 and checked in at a low of 69 degrees as you woke up this morning, and that's right around average. So, going to continue seeing those hot temperatures. As for now, checking in at 88 degrees, almost at the 90-degree mark, but look at that. 54% humidity, rather a lot lower than we have been seeing over the past few days. 54% is really not a lot of moisture in the atmosphere. Current temperatures by the number: Tallahassee at 88 degrees, St. Mark's 88 for you, Carabel at 88 for you. Really in the upper 80s all across the board here. Perry for you at 88. So 88 seems to be the number that's winning here. And current dew points, 69 degrees in Tallahassee, 68 in St. Mark's. And this is really indicating how much moisture there is in the atmosphere. So 7 degrees and higher, you're seeing a lot of moisture. So we are relatively lower than we have been, but still good enough moisture out there. Now, satellite and radar, this is showing us where the showers are, and as you can see, folks, not much to show you on the radar here. In fact, this is going to continue into the night. If we do see any rain, it's going to come and it's going to go real quick. We do have a couple isolated showers in the forecast, but no downpours tonight. Here's our future cast. We're going to put it into motion here. High pressure dominating the southeast, and that's why you're seeing those dry skies here, and that's going to continue. This is going to push down this cold front, and that's going to be our next chance for rainfall, and that's going to be later on in the week. So if you do have outdoor plans, you are in luck for the next couple of days. So maybe call it a picnic outside tomorrow. Take advantage of the beautiful weather that's going to be in the forecast for the next couple of days. In fact, tonight, 72 degrees is what you can expect if you have outdoor plans. Partly cloudy skies, and like I mentioned, if we do have that shower or two, it's going to be really quick and it's going to go. Tomorrow's forecast, 92 degrees, so the heat is still here, but to make up for that, we do have sunshine. So beautiful day tomorrow, a lot like the next day to follow then too. But take a look at our 7-day forecast here. We're talking sunshine beginning of the week. Then we're going to hopscotch into that rain shower chance on Friday into your next work week. But look at that. Look at those temperatures. Lower 90s. Then do we have a cool down? I think so, come weekend time. As for now, we're going to send it off to the desk with Pete and Alex.
Thanks, Daphne. And now we also have a big story to talk about. The FSU alert system had a few tests today, and the FSU alert system has a few far reaches, doesn't it?
Definitely. It'll catch your attention if you're out, about, and around campus. It's also plugged into the blue light system, as many of us here at FSU definitely see that.
Of course. Various warnings include tornado, severe thunderstorm, non-weather related events, probably such as an Amber Alert or a dangerous situation occurring on campus. So it's very loud, very frightening, I should say too, but it's good because it catches the attention, and I definitely heed it when I hear it, of course.
Well, I'll add to that, Alex, because we were just doing our normal shift work here in the studio, and Alex went into the back room to just check on a few things for us, and sure enough, we got the alert coming through. And can you experience what that was for us, Alex?
Yes, I ran a lot. It was in a confined area, so it sounded really loud. I thought I'd done something terribly wrong. But it's very far-reaching. It includes texts, the intercom, and also emails as well. So no matter what, even if you're on or away from campus, you will be informed about it, which is really good part on the system, so that way everyone's well aware of it.
Yes, just as a reminder, you can go into My FSU to check it out, and there's a lot more information. But another thing we should check out is that extended forecast. Look, that weekend weather, it seems like we're getting into the 80s, doesn't it?
Yes, it looks a little bad on Saturday, though, if it starts to rain on our first home game. Let's hope the rain stays away until after the game.
Definitely. But if you liked our show, you can go ahead and follow us at facebook.com/FSU Weather, or check us out on @FSU Weather on Twitter. And more of our show is available 24/7 on livestream.com/FSU Weather.
It's been another hot and cloudy day, but the rain chances look to increase later on. Have a great day.